Tonight, as heavy snow fell, Sam walked through the snow and heard the cries of an animal. He discovered a small fox lying in the snow, while its mother watched over it. The fox mother was unable to do anything to help, so Sam picked up the little fox and held it in his arms to keep it warm. He then walked back home, with the fox mother following them. The little fox was not injured, but was unable to withstand the cold. Sam covered it with a blanket to provide warmth, and after smoking a cigarette, he dozed off to sleep. When Sam woke up, he was startled to find a beautiful woman lying beside him. She opened her eyes and smiled at him. The next morning, Sam discovered that the little fox and its mother had left, but not before showing their gratitude to him. According to legend, foxes are known for their spiritual abilities, and female foxes are said to have the power to transform into beautiful women to seduce men. Jane received a task from the hospital to visit a mother and son who had not been seen for a long time. When she pushed open the door, she found no one inside. She walked around the hall and saw a shadow quickly flash by. So, she followed it all the way to the bedroom on the second floor. She opens the door gently, and she found the little boy sleeping soundly. However, when she approached the child, his face suddenly became hideous, causing Jane to fall back in fear. She felt a pair of feet touch her back, and when she turned around, she saw a terrifying woman staring at her with eyes the size of ping-pong balls. Jane was so scared that she almost passed out. When she slowly came back to her senses, she found the skeletons of a mother and son lying on the bed, who had passed long ago. This story reminds us that some single patients or elderly people with illness may die alone at home without anyone knowing. Therefore, we should regularly care for and look after elderly and single patients, especially those without family or relatives. Have you heard of this legend? If a pregnant woman cruelly kills a life, the soul of the murdered will be reborn into her child, haunting her for life. In a village in Africa, there exists a strict hierarchy where many people are enslaved. Among them is a small slave who is often sent to serve the lady of the house, washing her feet and such. However, this small slave secretly peeks at the lady's secret garden while washing her feet. The lady became very angry when she found out and told her husband, who was also furious. He stabbed the small slave and pushed him off a cliff. The slave's pitiful cries echoed through the night. Later, the lady gave birth to a child, but everyone was shocked by the child's appearance. His face was exactly like the small slave's. The man believed that his wife and the small slave must have done something unspeakable, so he stabbed his wife. Whether this legend is true or not, it warns us not to do things that harm others, otherwise we will suffer the consequences.
They quarreled again, with the two of them arguing fiercely. The things in the house were smashed to pieces, plates, cups, and even the table were slammed hard on the ground. The poor child could only hide behind the door, listening to their shouting with tears in his eyes. When the parents left, the child quietly came out and started to clean up the mess. He carefully picked up the broken dishes and glued them back together. The next morning, the parents were surprised to find that everything in the house had been repaired. They blamed each other for smashing things and fixing them, and even fought again. The child saw them arguing again and quietly walked over, only to see their broken figures. Tears streamed down his face as he picked up the broken pieces and gently wiped away his tears, silently starting to put his mother back together. Don't let disputes and conflicts affect the healthy growth of children, and don't give them a broken family.
In the dark forest, a badly injured woman was running desperately. She didn't know how far she had run, and just when she was about to give up, she saw a man ahead. The woman immediately asked the man for help, crying that she had been abducted by aliens and was being used for breeding experiments. The man didn't say anything. He hugged the woman and comforted her. Then he picked her up with his strong arms and took her out of the forest. The woman felt safe in the man's arms and fell asleep without realizing it. When the woman opened her eyes, she found that the man seemed to have walked into the depths of the forest. She looked up at the man, but his face had turned into an alien's. She had been caught by the alien again and became its captive. She felt helpless and scared, not knowing what kind of pain and torture she would have to endure. Have you ever heard of incidents where aliens use humans for breeding experiments and give birth to alien-human hybrids? Feel free to share in the comments.